Hello everyone from the Takahara, Okinawa Chayon-Ryu Dojo. Today we're going to focus on the beginner kicking techniques for Chayon-Ryu students. This involves knee strike, front kick, roundhouse kick, also called turning kick, side kick, and a variation of the front kick called the front running kick. With kicking techniques, a lot of it changes based on distance. So the principle of proper distance is very important for kicking, because sometimes you need to kick the opponent's very close, or sometimes the opponent's far away, and that may change the way the kick is performed a little bit. And we'll discuss that as we get into the kicking techniques. Also, think about walking motion, body twisting motion. That's going to be mostly what's used with our kicking techniques today. All right, so today I'm going to be training in plain clothes along with my shoes. And usually shoes are a no-no in a dojo. So if you see this video and you visit your dojo, please don't walk in the dojo with your shoes on. Just today I'm going to demonstrate with the shoes, because commonly we're not walking around everywhere in barefoot. Maybe even you're still wearing sandals, but you're not barefoot, and then you're in plain clothes. So I'm not wearing my traditional karate gi, dobok, kimono, something like that. So don't worry, I'll clean the dojo afterwards. I got my disinfecting spray and detergents ready to clean it up. So this is not normal. Normally the dojo is still kept clean, but today I'm going to demonstrate with plain clothes, because that's typically, if we have to use our technique, we'll be dressed this way, not in a uniform. So, a little review, walking motion. So we can walk. So even before you're studying martial art, you're already doing this motion. Even as a baby, maybe when you first start, you got to think about every step you take. That you see the little kid learning to walk there like this when they're learning. But later, they figured out the body naturally balances itself, and they just go with intention. I'm going there, and they just go. But you notice whenever you walk, your right leg goes forward, your right arm goes back. That's just the way the human body works, and way it's already naturally designed to balance. You don't think about it anymore, you just use it. But that's the fundamental principle of front kick or knee strike, balancing. Not walking like this, or you're like this, okay? So, in an emergency situation, you maybe can't use 100% this idea, but we're going to work on maximizing your potential. So, close range, remember proper distance, so close range, walking motion, you can use your knee. And so how you could practice to use this, 1 foot back, you can use your knee. Running motion. Practicing. A little bit further away, well, your knee can't reach. So then you have to add the bottom part with this type of motion, swinging your leg. So maybe you could practice a few times, keep your balance. So just no stance, just find the proper distance. Close range, you could, of course, use your knee. Further away, can't reach with the knee, well, you add this part. Okay, so for white belt requirements for Chayon-Ryu, 1 foot back, your back stance. So we're going to break this down to a 1-2 count. So 1-2, so 1 is preparation, inhale. So 1, you're going to turn your body running like you're going to run. So my right foot's going to be kicking. My back leg's going to kick for this practice. Reaching, pull your other hand, not just one arm. 1. Then knee comes up kicking, but it's not enough to keep that foot still. You have to pivot that foot on the ball 45 degrees to take the stress off your knee. And also you get more distance and power that way. 1, so reaching. 1, 2, coming in that way. So you don't want to use, you don't have this type of wave master. 1, you can kick in the air 2, 2. But notice the supporting foot, I'm not kicking like this. First of all, that limits my distance. Second of all, your knee down there, this part is doing this in here. You get knee problems kicking for a while, but I know lots of guys, taekwondo, karate guys, they got knee problems. Well, maybe they have some past trauma or something on their knee, but a lot of times it's developed over time, just not taking that stress off your knee when you're kicking. This is the way you can save your knee. So, 1, don't freeze your knee. You got to turn as one unit motion. Lower leg, upper leg, and that's why you pivot. 1, inhale. 2, keep your balance. 1, look at the target, inhale. That's preparation. Then 2, execution with exhale. Look at the target. 2. 1, 2. And put that foot in front so your weight's committed forward. So as an illustration, if I'm proper distance, if I'm not pivoting, I can just barely skim the surface. Now I could cheat and sacrifice my balance to reach it without pivoting, of course. That type of thing. I could reach, but that's really not a good idea. You want to keep your balance. So I get more distance. That's why you pivot. Depending on the width of your hips pivot when you pivot your foot. So you get more distance and you get your body weight into it in addition to your strong legs. So you're adding your leg energy and your body into it to increase your potential. Emergency situation, of course, someone's close, you just go, bop, you just kick them, of course. But you want to reach your potential, you got to use your body as well. So from here, 1, then pivot, exhale, looking at the target. 2, 1, inhale, make sure to exhale on 2, 2. So when you practice in your dojo, you're not practicing with a heavy target or something like that. You can practice back and forth. Just be careful, don't hyperextend your knee. You're not trying to lock your leg out when you're kicking and stress those tendons in your knee area. So 1, 2, 1, 2. You can practice, but then also make it one unit motion or make it one fluid motion using rhythm. Martial arts can be broken down into usually a 1, 2, 1, 2 type of rhythm, or a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 type of rhythm. This one is a 1, 2, inhale, exhale, slow, fast. So this one is 1, 2, 1, 2, that type. And that's all comes from walking motion that way. So just to expand on this, so we talked about distance. Close range, you could walk. Medium range, kicking. Practice using your power for your 10th cue requirement, Chayon-Ryu, 1, 2. Then, targets farther away. It's too far. Well, now we're going to use jumping motion. So to practice, one foot up, other hands for balance. Jumping. A little bit, you got to jump up. A little bit up. And try to land softly on the ball of your foot, not on the heel or flat-footed. That can hurt your knee. So land on the ball of the foot lightly. Now, if you have knee problems or you're older, you're 80, 90 years old, this is not so important. Don't worry about this part. You can skip this part. But you're healthy, no knee problems. Try this out. Up. Jump up. Not just changing feet. Up. You got to jump. So now I want to get there, but it's too far. Too far to reach. In this case, I'm going to use this jumping motion. So I'm going to kick with my front foot, bring my back foot up in front first. 1, and then jumping. But I'm going to use that knee, skipping, jumping to propel myself forward. 1, 2. 1 and jump. 1, 2. So it's still walking motion, but now we have a long way to go. 1, 2. And then using skipping motion, you can use the same thing. So this one's using the front foot. Now let's use the back foot. So in that case, when that knee comes up, lift it up, skipping. 1, 2. Driving into the target using your body. So back leg coming up, a little bit jump, up, kick. 1, 2. Skipping in. So that's front kick, front running kick, and front kind of a skipping version. Now, let's talk about roundhouse, or sometimes it's called turning kick. So the first kick, front kick, is going straight in to the front, straight at you, straight at the opponent, that way. Now, we want a weapon to hit around to the side. Ideally, you want to hit perpendicular to the surface. So this is my surface. My contact, I want to hit perpendicular to that surface. So if that surface is turned, like someone's bent over, that means your kick has to adjust with that too. But for practice, this is a nice vertical surface. We're going to practice going straight in, not coming up. So how do we do that? So in that case, we're going to use body twisting motion along with walking motion. So body twisting, you raise your heel this way, and then walking motion. So the kick is actually, the turning kick is actually walking motion, but we have to use our body twisting to get ourselves in a proper position to hit it straight to the side. So in this case, twisting your body is 1, preparation. We're going to do the 1, 2 count as before. So look at the target. My target's on the side. Twisting, 1, point at the target, other hand's back. Twist your body. If you want to relieve a little bit of pressure off your front foot, you can already turn it a little bit, maybe not quite 45 degrees, but if it's twisting too much, you have some past problem with your knee, and even twisting that much hurt your knee, go ahead and turn it a little bit. When you twist, go ahead and turn it a little bit. Take the stress off your knee. Drop your weight. Then 2, you're going to pivot that supporting foot a total of 180 degrees. So your toes are going to turn and point away from the target, leaning away, and you're going to hit straight to the side that way. So from here, twisting, 1, that's preparation. Inhale. 2, execution, exhale. 1, 2. And put that foot in front. Practice keeping your balance. 1, 2. 1, 2. So close range situation, maybe someone's to my side, like close. How do I turn? Well, close range, you can just lean and pop, kick like that. Far away, you can use your skipping also. Back leg skipping, like 1, 2, that way. But really, the foundation of what we're covering today is roundhouse kick. For beginner, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and put it together, all one motion, but keep the rhythm. 1, 2, inhale, exhale. That's turning a roundhouse kick. Next, side kick. So side kick is really still using this motion. So we're not contorting our bodies for some weird hip thing. Just walking. And now think about like stomping. So stomping is very powerful. You see guys over at Gunner's Gym, Cadena, Tori, they're lifting lots of weights using the squat. Like this. Why? Well, they're using their big, strong hamstrings and gluteus muscles to generate that power, lifting 400, 500, 600 pounds on a squat. That's the muscles you're using, and that's the ones we're going to use for this kick. So how do we get there? Well, just like you squat, like you're sitting down at a bench here, you're like this. Your feet are underneath you like this. So side kick is not really meant to be some weird thing like hurting your hip like this. It comes from in front, just like you stand up. Not in here, not this thing. Up, then from here, just like you stomp. Well, let's start back here. So I'm going to start facing towards the camera. So my foot's pointing straight to the side. So here, leg up. Then I'm going to use my stomp, but I have to rotate because I'm going to lean away. If my leg's going out that way, I want to offset that force, that gravity force, or the force going out with my body leaning the other way for balance, because we want to keep our balance. We're not going to try to stay up like this, have the force go that way. So from here, I'll turn sideways. So straight up in front, not in here, up, and then straight to the target, stomping motion, and pivot and lean away to offset that force. So you lean away, toes are facing away from your kick to help with your balance, arms open. Look at the target. Back and down. Up, kick, back and down. So emergency situations, someone's real close. Of course, you can just stomp on them, of course. You don't need this pivot necessarily. A little bit further away, you want to push them away. Well, you got to use your hips, step into it like that. Close range, you don't need it. But for the white belt requirement, you're going to practice using your pivot. Helps with your energy, helps with your balance. So, in this case, so practice walking side kick, yap chagi, walking side kick. 1, 2, and then 3 to the target, back and down. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That rhythm. 1, 2, 3. That rhythm. 1, 2, 3. And that's formal practice. And then you apply through like practical situation, practice with your target. Even skipping, if it's too far, like close range, like this, of course you don't have to walk, you just side kick. Further away you could walk, side kick. Even further away, using skipping motion, you could skip into it, using skipping motion for side kick. So we've covered knee strike or knee kick, front kick and variations such as front running kick, front skip kick, roundhouse kick or turning kick, and side kick. That's the requirements for 10th Gup or 10th Q in Chayon-Ryu.